Peace, blessings, and wholeness, family. It's April 15th. Time for another garden update, farm update, space of growing update, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to let the thoughts roll today. I think it was like 5 days since we've been here last when I watered and planted the seeds. Doing a nice garlic inspection, and I just watered all 6 beds. The thing I want to talk about today is the benefits of a thick mulch. As you can see, it's still very early, but there is not a lot of weed pressure, if any. Everything you see, even these little small ones, is garlic. I see a little tiny seedling from whatever seeds had fell from the previous gardener of this plot. I might just let that grow. It looks like a sunflower, but if you keep going through, there really is no other weeds, and that is because of the thick layering of mulches. It's still early in the spring. Yeah, I think that is sunflower, because there was some sunflowers over here. Anyways, it's actually right here. So those seeds fell, they're germinating in here. Maybe we'll just let them grow and take them out when we want to. None of these seeds have germinated on the new mounds. So one of the reasons no weeds are growing is because of the thick layers of mulches. We weeded the pathways, dug out the pathways, building the beds up with the soil from the pathways. And all the weeds from the pathways, after I weeded it and then took the soil to build the beds up, I threw the weeds down back in the pathways, put leaves over the weeds in the pathways, and then wood chips over the leaves. Or it was wood chips over the weeds and then leaves over the wood chips. So you got like a 3-layered pathway. That's gonna decompose, and then next fall, when it's time to plant garlic again, or this coming fall, when it's time to plant garlic again, we'll re-dig out the pathways, continuously building the bed up with all that decomposed organic matter. Also, the beds have had a layer of that soil building them up, leaves, hay, compost, more leaves. So you got like 4 layers in the beds. So no sun can penetrate through to the actual soil, which is what makes weeds grow. So your typical standard garden bed, you have bare soil, and then people wonder why there's so many weeds. It's because the sun hits that bare soil, killing all the beneficial life that's present, along with germinating all of those weed seeds. The highest concentration of soil life is within the first 2 inches, and the weed seed bank is also within the first 2 inches. So another reason on top of the thick mulches of why there's not so many weeds: 1, because it is still early in the season, but 2, because we've planted them so densely, about give or take this far apart from each other. And I did not measure. Everything is done by hand here. No strings, just all eyeball and hands, hand tools. So because they're planted so densely together, as the leaves fan out, they also create a shade over the soil. So that's 1, gonna help retain more moisture on top of the thick mulches, and 2, help to shade, keep the soil cooler, and 3, also that shade is going to help the prevention of weed seeds germinating. So as you can see, as it goes down, the planting got a little bit denser because I was running out of space. I had 17 varieties, and there's only 6, 7, 8 of them here. The other 11 varieties, or 9 varieties, those have passed on, unfortunately. I ran out of bandwidth, I ran out of time, didn't get them in the ground. So all the garlic that you see here is basically like, not basically like, but all of the garlic that you see here is what's a part of the stock now. It's no longer 17 varieties. And I'm also thinking about just mixing all of the varieties together and then selling it as an East Coast adapted, West Coast adapted variety seed garlic mix. And I can list what is the potential varieties that you have in there, but it'll just be a mixture. It seems a little bit easier to do it that way. It's pretty hard keeping everything separated, especially when you have limited space, but we will see how the years ahead progress. I will definitely keep that England France soft neck separate, and it seems to be doing really good here. So we covered the thick mulches, water retention, why the weeds aren't growing. I'd be interested to see, as we get 80, 90, 100-degree days, how well the mulches continue to work. They break down a lot less faster out here because there's a lot less moisture. But that's one thing to mention, is that we get 7 inches of rain per year living in a desert, and through the layout of the thick mulches in the fall time, I've minimally watered this plot through the winter, and we've had a very minimal amount of moisture. Until this day, it's still moist under the 3 layers of mulch, and I really haven't been watering that frequently. I'm starting to water more frequently as the days get longer, more intense heat, more intense rays. That's my spiel for today. If you could take anything from this, it's thick mulches and denser plantings. So all of this garlic will come out in, I don't really know when, 3rd week of July in Vermont, probably the 1st week of July in Reno, Nevada. And then all of these little bulbuses, these 1-year garlics, these will remain here and then go to a full head next season. All of the other garlics will harvest, be dried, and then replanted in the fall. Maybe some sold, but I'm really trying to get my numbers up. Like I mentioned, I had 17 different varieties. Now I only have 8. So because I lost all of that other garlic, I have a 6-year plan, and that probably put me back 2 years. So now the new goal is 2030, and it's still 2,600 pounds, no, I'm sorry, 5,600 pounds of garlic by 2030. So, oh, and the one other thing is that each one of these rows has tree seeds down the middle. We have some apricot and peaches, which I really don't think are going to do too well because they got too dry. But the California black walnut and the acorns do have a lot of potential. And the California walnut tree growing in Nevada that I harvested from, it still hasn't even broke its buds yet or started to put out leaves. So those seeds are still sleeping. They're probably not going to germinate for another few more weeks. I'd say give it middle of May, 3rd week of May. They take a really long time. But looking at that tree that I harvested the nuts from, it gives me good insight as to when that tree wants to wake up. And if the full grandfather tree hasn't even broke its buds yet, that tells me it's not time for those seeds to wake up yet. 3rd week of May, we'll start harvesting garlic scapes, give or take, make pestos for storage. And then after all this gets harvested and cured, right after it gets harvested, we will have vegetable transplants to transplant into each one of these beds, farming the back half of the season, fall greens, cucumbers, so on and so forth. Have it figured out, but I also haven't gotten that far and figured it out yet, just briefly. So peace, blessings, and wholeness. If you stuck around for these 10 minutes with that leaf blower in the back, I do really appreciate you. and is overcast. We're going to be dropping down into the 30s again in the next few days, and then it's going to spike back up. Very similar fluctuations to New England, Vermont, East Coast, but also different. The way that the spring lags for the heat to really come on is similar, but the fluctuations are lesser so. I don't know, we could see 70 during the day and it still drops back down to 40 at night. So that's also just desert temps. Learning a whole bunch, lots of observations, lots of things to be done, lots of plans to be made, lots of garlic to harvest. So peace, blessings, and wholeness. We'll see you on the next one. I'm going to try to get some new seedlings started here soon, and we'll see what we're able to make of this season. It's a different context, different circumstances, so do the best that I can. Really do appreciate your support for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas. We'll see you on the next one. Farmer John NV.